We had just came back from China, and we made the super song when I
How
came
did
home
you
from
get the
China.
China thing to happen? How did that happen?
So they reached out to my assistant, who it was Fader Japan. We did a photo shoot for Fader Japan, and then it got in the hands of MTV China. And MTV China wanted to fly me and four of my friends out, put us in 5-star hotels, and perform for MTV China. So that's what we did in 2007. When we came home, whenever you get off tour, it's like, what's next? After you get off tour, it's like, all right, what's next? What do you do next? And we didn't know what we wanted to do next. So January 1st came around, and my A&R, Steve O, he was like, yo, let's put a song out today. I was like, all right. And so I gave him a song and he put it out, put it on MySpace. Following week, he did the same thing. Yo, let's put another song out. I was like, yo, we just put a song out, bro. He's like, no, we gotta put another song out. Let's put another song out. And I was like, all right, I gave him a song. Then the following week, he was like, yo, gotta put another song out. And I was like, yo, relax. We holding on. At that time, I like to hold on to music and wait for the deal and wait to get a record deal. He was like, nah, let's not wait for the record deal. Let's just put the shit out. So he puts another record out. And then he was like, yo, I want you to record to this record and we could put it out this week. And I was like, yo, you putting out too much music. Mind you, this is 2008. People they were not putting out music on the internet at this rapid rate. They were not like how we doing it now. That was not a thing. That was not a thing. The only person who was putting music out every week was Crooked Eye. He was putting out a freestyle over other people's beats every week.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I put out a song. I was the first person to put out a song every single week. And I did that. And when I did that, all hell broke loose. All hell broke. People were like, yo, this kid is putting out a song every single week. It was unheard of. And then I had the song with the cool kids, Rocking and Rolling. We had Cuddy in the video. We had Vashti in the video. We had the Kids in the Hall in the video. We were representing New York to the fullest. Let's be clear. Let's be. You want to be honest? Let's be clear.
Yes.
Getting back on the fashion tip.
Let's do it.
Back on the fashion tip. Mikey from the Cool Kids, he had on my man's troop jacket, right? And then I was the first human being to ever wear Hood by Air and have it air anywhere. That shirt I had on in that Rockin' and Rollin' video was Hood by Air. I was the first person.
What year is that?
2008.
Jeez.
Yo,
that's like,
I don't know what that means fully, but I appreciate
6 years
that something.
before. That's like 6 years before Rocky.
What's Hood by Air?
It's a label. It's a fashion house.
It's a fashion house label that people just fell in love with. You know what I'm saying? Because A$AP Rocky, he made it even more popular. But I wore it first in 2000.
6 years before.
2008. I had it on before him.
That's amazing.
So, mind you, I'm putting out a song every week. Then Omen, he reached out to me and was like, yo, I want to put you on a record. I'm putting out a song and I want you to be one of the artists that's on the record. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, who else is on the record? He was like, I got this Canadian kid. Nobody really ever heard of him. His name is Drake. We're going to put him on the record too. And he was like, yo, can you get Travis from the Gym Class Heroes? Because he had already known I was working with him. And I was like, yeah, I can get Travis on the record. So he sends me the record with Drake doing the chorus and the verse. Mind you, nobody knows who Drake is at this point. I'm like one of the biggest up-and-coming hip-hop artists in the game. So I'm like, oh, Drake, this chorus is fire, his verse is fire, I'll put a verse on. I put a verse on it. So at first, it's only us two on the record. Then I call up Travis. I'm like, yo, Travis, my man want to get you on the record. He was like, bet. Because it's you, I'll do it. So we get Travis on the record. And then we put the record out maybe in June of that year. And that was, if you can go on now, right now.
Yeah, that record was a big, that was like a cosign for Drake at the time, a big one, because it was like Mickey was definitely buzzing hard, and Travis and Travi was like he was gym class heroes. You know what I mean?
He was a star. He was a star.
He was a star. He already had Cupid's arrow, if I'm not mistaken.
It's Overdose is what it's called, I believe. Drake.
Overdose.
Yes.
Yeah, I found that.
Yeah. If you type NahRight.com, the post, because NahRight was literally where you found all your music.
Yep.
If you go there and you type in, go on NahRight.com, and then in the search engine you put in Overdose on Life, you will see what it says. The blog Golden Boy Mickey Factz taps in star Travis McCoy from Gym Class Hero and some Canadian kid rapper.
Yo,
that's literally what it says, because nobody knew who he was.
That's amazing.
And, yeah, so and at this point now I'm in every magazine. Every month I go to the newsstand, I'm in the magazine. So I was in Fader, I was in URB, I was in Spin, I was in Rolling Stone, I was in Billboard. Hip hop got to me late. The last magazines that I was in was The Source and the Double XL. I was an international artist before I was anything. Like, the city still didn't accept me. I wasn't on New York radio, but I had a huge fan base. I was selling out venues whenever I performed. I went to South by Southwest. I had the Rockin' and Rollin' video on YouTube on MTV Jams. I was like number 1, number 2 on MTV Jams for weeks at a time. No record deal, no nothing. And I had records with Cudi. I did a record with Cudi. It was just mad shit. So finally, around July, the Source called me and says, "Yo, we want to put you in the magazine." I said, "Okay." So I was an unsigned hype in the Source. After every magazine already had me, then Double XL called me and put me in the Show and Prove section. And then I was in another piece of the magazine for another interview. And then they called me on my birthday and said I was going to be on the Double XL cover, which is right here.
Yeah. Now that cover is like, that's one of those covers that's a monument in hip hop. Like, I was just having a conversation with a couple OGs, right? That like, they're the ones that like, taught me the freestyle type shit. And I was giving them their flowers for, what they did for me. And we were talking about freshman classes, and I was explaining to them that really the first freshman class that everybody thinks of is Mickey's freshman class. Though that's not actually the first freshman class ever. Like, they had one before them with Papoose. I think Papoose was in it. Saigon was definitely in it. Lupe was in it, I think. Right? And then before that class, actually, the Source had the first ever freshman class with like Peter Guns, DMX, Cameron, Nori, a bunch of cats back then.
Pun, Cannabis.
That was but Mickey's class, right? It shows you how impactful that class was. That cover is really like a monument in hip hop. There's certain covers, and that's one of them for sure.
I can tell you, I've definitely seen it before. It's something that was significant because I'm in the age group that was like in like, I guess your equivalent of college around that time, right? So like I'm all on YouTube, we're all talking about whatever. Like, there's a good chance that a younger me did know about you, and I just don't remember it at this time because of like the era that you were in, right? Like, that was kind of my inception to internet culture at that time.
Yeah, I mean, he was at the forefront of it.
So we were sampling different records, and I was everywhere, man. I was on MTV all the time. I was on BET all the time. It was a great situation, and I was poor. Like, I was piss poor. I was the flyest, poorest dude in the universe at that point. I was getting clothes for free. I was going to events just to eat. I didn't have a place to stay. I was sleeping on couches, all types of wild shit. And then at the end of 2008, I went to a casting call for the Honda commercial. For Honda wanted a spokesman from hip hop to be their spokesman for the 2009 Honda Accord. So I went to the interview, I did it, and I got the job. And my first time going to LA was to shoot a commercial. So I had a chair just like this with my name on the back of it. I had my own trailer. I had a makeup artist, and they paid me to do the music. They paid me to be in the commercial, and that was my first time making some big money. Aside from the shows that I was doing at the time, and then that was the start of the brand again, restarting it over, and then like my commercial was playing all the time. I made a
I
lot of
remember
money.
that commercial. I was about to say, I remember that commercial airing all the time. I remember it being on Current. I don't know if you remember this network on TV. It was on Dish. I think I had what's the other satellite thing called network called? I forget. Direct TV.
Mm-hmm.
I had
Fuse.
that, and they had a channel called Current. I think it was Al Gore that was behind it on the
Mm.
low, but it was like a really like essentially what Vice is now, but without like so much of the edgier stuff. You know what I mean? But they were
Right.
really like pushing like that ad ran on their channel religiously back then.
That's crazy.
Religiously. Between every show, between every little thing that they were doing, they were running that commercial. I remember that was like, that was right before the achievement, well, right before Paradise came out, right?
Yes. Right before Paradise came out. So I was on
Yeah.
Current, I was on MTV, I was on BET, I was on Fuse. It was a cable commercial, and it aired a lot. Yeah. And then I went on the Rock the Bells tour, toured with them, and came home and prepared for 2010. And I saw the world. I went to Toronto, I went to Japan, I went to England, I went to Jamaica, Puerto Rico, performed. I went to New Orleans, and I seen the whole country basically performing. Just spreading that from the Mickey Factz brand all throughout the country and the world.
Yo, question on my part, out of my curiosity, when you travel to a lot of those places, did you get to like explore on your own time?
So, yes, and not when I traveled overseas. So when I went to Japan and England, it was a little brutal only because I was touring in between with Rock the Bells, which was weekend shows.
Right.
So I had I had did DC, I had did like Philly I had did New York and DC with Rock the Bells, and then I flew out to Japan that Monday, and it was an 18-hour flight. So I got to Japan like Tuesday night. So really, I slept. So that Wednesday, I had the show with Lupe Fiasco Wednesday night, and then I had an extra day in Japan. So I explored a little bit in Japan that extra day, and then I had to fly out Friday to get to Rock the Bells Saturday in LA. So I got to Rock the Bells Saturday in LA. Flew to San Francisco Sunday to do the show, and then fly to London to do my set in London.
I got